silence to pray for the recent accidents involving airplanes and helicopters. Let us pray for all the lives lost and the families impacted. Let them find strength through these challenging times in their lives. Now let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome to the town board meeting of February 6, 2025.
Yours isn't working, your mic?
We're having technical difficulties, so we're just gonna work through it.
Can she use yours since it's on or not?
Check 1, 2.
Here, you. You won't have a problem hearing me.
So I'm beyond ecstatic that we're once again returned to our original home at 511 State Route 32. So before I introduce the town board, I'm going to pass it over to our attorney, who's going to read a resolution for us.
Motion. No, I can, I'll be fine. We just need a motion to, I didn't see if there was a motion to open the meeting, but if not, there was, then we need a motion to amend the agenda to add, item 1, which will precede the public hearing, a resolution calling for council member Sandra Capriglione, I hope I nailed that because I didn't practice beforehand, to participate in her official duties as a town board member of the town of Woodbury remotely during the period of her temporary absence. So I need a motion to amend the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Someone second that besides Sandra?
I'll second it.
Okay. That would add the resolution to right now, and I'm going to read that into the record. Whereas town board member Sandra Capriglione is a duly elected and integral member of the town board, town of Woodbury, state of New York. Whereas town board member Sandra Capriglione has sustained a situation which temporarily prevents her from attending her duties as a town board member for the town of Woodbury in person. Whereas it is in the interest of the town of Woodbury and its residents for Sandra Capriglione to continue in her duties as a town board member for the town of Woodbury, including but not limited to her attending any regularly scheduled town board meeting, public hearing, and or other town of Woodbury function during this period of absence. Now therefore be it resolved that this town board for the town of Woodbury agrees to temporarily allow the town board member Sandra Capriglione to participate in all of her duties as a member of the town board for the town of Woodbury, including but not limited to attending any regular scheduled town board meeting, public hearing, and or other town of Woodbury function and or activity via remote access, including Zoom, Teams, FaceTime, and or any other convenient electronic platform for the next 90 days, and or until she's able to resume her duties as town board member of the town of Woodbury in person, whichever is sooner. Resolved that this resolution is a temporary measure to continue the efficient operation of the government and will only apply for the next 90 days or the period of the town board member Sandra Capriglione's inability to attend her duties as town board member for the town of Woodbury in person, whichever is sooner, at which time this resolution will terminate and be deemed void. Foregoing resolution was adopted upon the following roll call. Do you want me to do that? Go down that list, so we'll start with, I don't know everybody's last names, so forgive me, I don't know what you're doing, Nicole?
Yes.
Thank you. I know Brandon's, but
Councilmember Floyd,
Yep.
Councilmember Beckley,
Here.
yeah,
Councilmember Luongo,
yeah, you're an eight, but
motion's Supervisor Luciani.
Yeah, I can say that.
so 4 ayes, right? So
Yep.
carries. Okay. Welcome to the meeting, Sandra.
How are you?
Thank you.
All right. All right. So you're good to jump into the public hearing. You need a motion to open that, and then you go.
Okay. Well, let me take a moment to introduce the town board. At the end is Councilmember Brandon Calori. Next is Councilmember Robert Beckley. On the phone is Sandra Capriglione. On my left is Deputy Supervisor Teresa Luongo, and to my right is Town Clerk Nicole Young, and I'm the Town Supervisor Kate Luciani. Now we'll move on to the public hearing for introductory local law 1 of 2025. Nicole, can you please read the public hearing notice?
A public hearing was held to entertain public comments on introductory local law 1 of 2025 entitled Taxation of Volunteer Fire Departments and Volunteer Ambulance Services Exemption pursuant to section 466A of the New York State Real Property Tax Law. A public notice was printed in the Times Herald Record on January 27th, 2025. The deadlines for applications is March 1st, 2025, and this application will affect the 2025 property tax billing cycle.
Thank you, Nicole. The purpose of this law is to allow all first responder volunteers the ability to receive tax exemptions in towns where they reside, even if they are volunteering in another municipality. Does the public have any comments regarding introductory local law number 1 of 2025? Okay, Nicole, did we receive any written comments?
No.
Thank you, Nicole. Now we'll close the public hearing. Can I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing?
Make a
Mike
motion.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Aye.
Okay, now we'll move on to the resolution.
Sanderson, that yes. Whereas the town board has reviewed the proposed local law and has considered the public comments provided at a first said public hearing, now therefore be resolved by the town board of the town of Woodbury that the adoption of the proposed local law is in the best interest of the residents of the town, and the town board hereby adopts said local law 1 of 2025 entitled Taxation, Volunteer Fire Departments and Volunteer Ambulance Services Exemption. And the town clerk is hereby directed to enter local law into the minutes of this meeting and into the local law book of the town of Woodbury, and give due notice of the adoption of the said local law to the Secretary of State of New York. And we will do a roll call. Councilmember Clory.
Aye.
Member Capriglione.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckley.
Aye.
Councilmember Luongo. Aye. Supervisor Luciani.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, oh, sorry. Can I have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution of the local law 1 of 2025?
I make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Aye.
Now we'll move on to public comments on agenda items only. Does anyone have any comments on agenda items only? Start with the first round.
I think you guys can hear me. My name is Martha, Highland Mills resident. I am here to speak about the MOU between the town of Woodbury and Woodbury Public Library. After 2 years of negotiations, the agreement reached places an unnecessary financial burden on taxpayers, while granting the library extensive benefits with little oversight. One major issue is the responsibility of landscaping and snow removal at the Central Valley Library, a building owned by the library, not the town. Under this agreement, the town is responsible for clearing snow from the front steps and providing salt, costs that should come from the library's maintenance budget. Additionally, the town's Building and Grounds Department is tasked with decorating the library for the holidays, a responsibility that seems more appropriate for the Beautification Committee. Routine cleaning costs are another concern. The agreement requires the town to pay overtime on a weekly basis for buildings and ground staff to remove garbage on Tuesday nights. Why isn't the library handling this internally, or at the very least paying for it from their own budget? These expenses add up, increasing the burden on taxpayers. The insurance provisions are even more troubling. The agreement states that the library is the named insured on the policy, yet the town is paying for it. If there were a fire at the Highland Mills Library, would the insurance payout go directly to the library or the town? If it goes to the library, it's giving them control over how the funds are spent. Would they decide on repairs, renovations, or whether to reinvest the funds into our very own building? Additionally, why is the town funding insurance for the Central Valley Library, a building it does not own? These are critical financial and legal questions that need clear answers. The indemnification clause is especially problematic. Taxpayer money should never be used to shield library trustees or directors from lawsuits. This provision reduces accountability, allowing board members to act without financial consequences. If taxpayers disagree with a decision made by the library board, they should not be forced to then fund its legal defense. Public funds should support town services, not legal protections for individuals. I would like to review the full indemnification coverage, as this clause could leave the town vulnerable to costly legal battles at taxpayers' expense. To be clear, I support the library, and I recognize its value to our community. However, any agreement between the town and the library must be fair, transparent, and fiscally responsible. Taxpayers should not be covering costs that should be managed within the library's own budget. Transparency is another major issue. The MOU was not shared until Tuesday evening, nor were the details for the insurance or indemnification made available. A public hearing should have been scheduled before approving this agreement, or at the very least, all relevant documentation should have been provided to residents before today's meeting. Additionally, the final clause of the agreement is extremely concerning. It states that the agreement remains in effect unless modified by mutual written agreement of both parties. Shouldn't the town have the ability to amend the agreement independently if necessary, or at the very least, shouldn't it be at the discretion of either party? Was this language recommended by our new town attorney? Did either of the previous town attorneys, McKay or Peter, ever advise signing such a one-sided agreement? Several critical questions remain unanswered. Can we review the full indemnification policy? Is it legal under municipal and state law for the town to pay for insurance while the library is named insured? Does this arrangement violate procurement rules or improperly allocate taxpayer funds? How much will the insurance for both buildings cost? This agreement is not in the best interest of Woodbury residents. The town funds the library and pays its bills, yet this agreement increases taxpayer obligations without justification. The library does not return unused funds at the end of the year, meaning these additional finance obligations only add to the taxpayer burden of residents. This is extremely troubling, especially after recent double-digit tax increases. Given these concerns, I strongly urge the board to table this agreement until public hearing is scheduled, all supporting documentations are made available for review, and residents have the opportunity to ask questions and receive clear answers. After 2 years of negotiations, Woodbury residents deserve more than a rushed decision that places an unnecessary financial burden on all us taxpayers. Thank you.
Anybody else? Oh, sorry.
Are you going by row or anyone?
Yeah, we're going by row.
Okay.
Jackie's.
Jacqueline Hernandez.
Hold it down, Jack, hold it down. So the green light comes on.
Jacqueline Hernandez, Helen Mills. I definitely wanted to add on, I think Martha clearly identified a bunch of issues. I think, with regards to me repeating that, I don't think it's necessary, but definitely I had concerns about the insurance. As a town, if you own a building, it makes sense that you would be the insured for that building. That's probably one of the ones that's glaring for me. Anything happens to one of the town buildings, it would make sense that we would receive the money so that we would be able to fix the building, right? The second is if you have a library that is in full control of their budget, it would make sense that they would be responsible for their own insurance. Because they are the person that will receive the funds in case something happened, whether it's property damage. The money that's used to purchase property for the library is owned by the library. It doesn't come back to the town, it's under the library. And so it makes sense that if you have an insurance policy for the library, that the library would pay for that because that would be under their budget. Maintenance, I do understand that sometimes with maintenance, it may be a little cheaper to do maintenance by the town rather than a chargeback on maintenance. But in regards to servicing one building and reducing service on the other, it's either, to me, it would be either all or none, right? It makes more sense rather reducing it, because if it's providing a service to the community and the town's deciding that they're gonna provide a service, it would make more sense that it's just across the board, or Central Valley would cover their expenses totally, and then the town of Woodbury would cover the expenses for their building. The second item that I wanted to address was I was looking at the vouchers. And there was a voucher for a total of, I can't see, $10,873, and that was for lumber. I just wanted to ask, are there any major projects going on in town that would require $10,000 in lumber? Just a question to the board.
Yes.
I just wanted to, I don't remember seeing anything covered about any.
It's all right.
I didn't see anything being covered in any of the meetings about any projects that you guys were working on. So I was just interested in what the money was used for, 10,000, almost 11,000. What was that used for?
I was gonna bring it up as we go through the meeting and talk about it.
So that's gonna be covered in
Yes.
the meeting?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I have a follow-up question, so would I be able to ask that?
Yeah,
The
when at the public comment.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else in that row? Next row? Row after? Second to last row? Last row?
Good evening, Maria Hunter, resident of the village, the town village for almost 46 years. I wanna thank Martha and Jackie for bringing up some points, but Martha, I don't agree 100% when you say beautification should be doing certain things, and I'll explain to you about that later. My one question, I have a couple questions. There is a voucher, I guess, if you have a staff meeting, and you provide lunch for the staff meeting. Where I work, if there's a staff meeting or a staff get-together, the board members pay for that, for the members to attend. They don't take it out of taxpayer dollars. What I'm concerned about, on January 29th, $77.47, there was a staff meeting. It came out of special programs, L 7410-429. Everyone knows what the L stands for. I'm not against the library. What I'm against about is that the library board of trustees can use my money, your money, to pay people who go to meetings who are getting paid anyway. That money should have come out of the trustees should have paid for that, or should not have been taken out of special programs. Special programs are for the residents, whether they're a child, adult, or the programs that they have going on. I'm upset with that, because, yes, ma'am. We can't tell the library how to spend their money. I understand that, but I'm making a point here that residents need to understand our dollars are going to subsidize employees' meetings, staff meetings. That's my point. You don't do it when you have your monthly meetings. Either you pay for it, but it should not come out of special programs, is what I'm getting at. That's for the residents, that line, not for employees going to a staff meeting who may have been paid or not. That's my gripe. I support the library, but now I'm going to go about the MOU. On the last page 8, it lists all the exhibits. All these exhibits from A through Z were not made available for anyone to read on the town website. And most of these from Exhibit P to Z
or the New York State Comptroller opinion, an opinion of somebody. What the, I don't have an opinion from our attorney for these things, to verify whether they are town attorney agreed with them or not. So an opinion is one thing, that's one person's opinion. And to go back to what, asking for a public hearing or a work session, I tried foiling this agreement when I knew there was a meeting going on. And because it wasn't a document, it could not be given to me. And as everyone knows, I like to do my research. I can only do partial research, and didn't get to see this until late last night. And that bothers me. So I'm asking this board to possibly postpone voting on this tonight. Everything has been staying status quo since last year. We all agreed, you voted on this last year, not you, Mr. Beckley, but, everything is status quo. We don't deny that. You were on the board last year when it said, right,
Not for status quo.
for the status quo, well, Tim was on the board.
Tim.
Tim was there, you were there. So whoever, there's been so many moving parts, I can't remember who's who anymore, what board. And I do agree that, is it gonna cost overtime for the buildings and grounds to put the garbage cans out in the evening on Tuesdays? I don't know if anyone considered that, but I don't know.
They're not moving it out at night, they move it out during the day.
During the day. So maybe that should be clarified and cleared up, and take, on Tuesdays, and take the word nights out, just a suggestion. And is it Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Rory?
Yeah, Rory's fine.
I used to work for an attorney's office, so you'll see me pointing things out that
I've taken notes.
okay? Why did I check this one off? I'm not gonna go there, never mind. And I see the library director can make this is on page 310B. The library director can make determination for library staff in accordance with the UPSI union contracts. Let's say tomorrow, the town employees work. The director can tell her employees, keep the libraries closed. Is my understanding, but we're still paying them. To me, it just doesn't make sense.
So another thing, we can't
I know we
be part
can't,
of their contract.
I know we can't do that, what I'm trying to make a point here is with this MOU, that you are negotiating on behalf of the residents. And what they do, they control their money, I get that, I know that, I don't have a question about that. I just want the residents who may be watching this, understand what you were agreeing to. And you didn't give us the ability to come here and speak with you in a work session or a public hearing. And maybe those answers would have been answered if we didn't have to be here tonight with public, excuse me. And I'm a little confused on page 6, number 23, the annual budget. The library board, the library director, which I know proposes the annual budget for review of the library board prior to submitting it to the town. The library board has sole authority in accepting and adopting the library's annual budget. Before or after, this board only gives them a 2 or 3% increase. Then we go into saying that if they don't accept what this board gives them in a budget, it doesn't state where they get that extra money from. It's just, a lot of people don't know this. I understand the ruling and all that. And I noticed on number 24, and I asked this at the last meeting, the last line, capital reserve fund created in November 2021 by resolution of the library board. I still don't have an answer as if they approved it. No problem with that. Is that the same as their fund balance, or are they two separate things? I know the answer, it's two separate things, because they have a fund balance and has this board, previous board members, ever created the capital reserve fund? I can never get an answer for that, and it's troubling, because if they voted on it, that's great. I don't have it in front of me to see what the footnote is, but has it been created with our accounting office? Because I've been emails, correspondence with Eileen Sutherland, and I can never get a definitive answer. So I need to know, not just me, but maybe other people, in the town may wanna know what that's coming from.
It's been created.
Excuse me?
It's just been created.
Is that,
It's just been created?
it was just
Just.
last month, since the last meeting when I asked about it?
It was recognized.
It was, yeah, it was created in
I thought it was
2021.
created a while ago.
2021.
Yeah.
The money wasn't put into it.
Right, but the capital fund was created.
Is the public going to, like, is there gonna be some kind of announcement that the public knows that the town just recently created it and how much money was taken from fund balance, or do I have to foil? I'll foil it, it'll be easier.
It's in the library minutes.
Thank you, but I'm talking to the board tonight, not you. And then going forward with our comments, and as Martha stated, and Jackie, we support the library system. It's an important part. But it's my money, your money, and everyone else's money that's going to this project. I don't know how many libraries we have within the Monroe, Woodbury, and the Cornwall School District where our children can go to these libraries. Adults can't. It's just crazy how we have this, and that's I'm just asking the board, please postpone voting on this tonight. Another meeting or two is not gonna hurt after 2 years of waiting. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Just to answer everybody that, our attorney Peter, agrees with, we went over this entire MOU, and he agreed to everything that was in it and said that this was exactly what needed to be put in, and
So I did not, out of an effort to be fiscally responsible, coming into a 2-year negotiation, and me coming in as the attorney would restart the process. So Peter, prior counsel, continued the negotiations. I have spoken with Peter a number of times regarding the MOU. My opinion is about the legalities, right? So I don't, whether you think it's a fair shake or not is not, I may have an opinion on it or not, but that's not what I'm here for. So from a legal standpoint, it's a functional legal agreement. I don't think it's disproportionate in a way that makes it not a fair contract. As to procedure, I can't speak to what was posted or whatever, but the public hearing request, functionally, that's the board's decision, but mandatorily speaking, it's, I don't believe it requires a public hearing for the purpose of just addressing, I was going through the items that people hit on that I can answer. The sections that you cited, the last speaker, I can't speak to them right off the cuff. Certainly, if it's not voted on tonight, then I'll see if I can give you clarity on that, either by way of Peter or myself. Okay. Beyond that, I don't really have any more comments other than I think the agreement is certainly satisfies from a legality end. So that's where I'm at on it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Now we'll move on to administrative business, acceptance of the minutes. Can I have a motion and a second to accept the receipt of the minutes of the meeting held on January 16, 2025?
Make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Next
Did you
is
close the
approval
public
of
hearing?
abstract two. Huh?
Was there a motion to close, never mind, it wasn't a public hearing, but.
No, it was just public comment.
Moving on, okay. It wasn't a public hearing.
Okay, back to approval of abstract two. Nicole, can you please read the abstract for this meeting?
Abstract 2 containing vouchers 250111 through 250276, totaling $417,289.65. Check number 30332 and voucher 250270 for the Village of Woodbury has been reversed due to an entering error. The voucher has been replaced by voucher 25026 and check 30440. The amount of the abstract did not change.
Thank you, Nicole. Can I have a motion and a second to approve abstract two as read?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Next is modifications to the 2024-2025 budget. Nicole, can you please read modifications submitted for the 2024 and 2025 budget prepared for this meeting?
Yes, the animal shelter last month had an incomplete request. The following request will balance the budget modifications for the animal shelter. decreasing A 3510.100 personal services by $284.11, and decreasing A 3510.463 computer software by $800. Buildings and grounds, increasing A 162408 fire extinguisher maintenance by $502.10, and decreasing A 162402 electricity. Under attorney, we're increasing A 1420.400 attorney by $4,234.13. A 2404 New York class interest by $3,234.13, and decreasing A 1410.418 attorney ELT Napera litigation by $1,000. For the general fund, we are increasing A 1010.415 special prosecutor by $800, and decreasing A 1010.453 ambulance gas by $800, increasing A 1440.400 engineer consultant by $2,052.69, and decreasing A 9010.800 state retirement by $2,052.69, increasing A 9060.800 health insurance by $4,188.44, and decreasing A 9060.801 HRA MVP insurance by $4,188.44. For the police, increasing SMV 1930.400 judgment and claims by 9 cents, SMV 1980.400 MTA tax by $9.28, SMV 3120.100 police personal services by $4,165.53, SMV 3120.204 equipment canine maintenance by $533.16, SMB 9030.800 FICA by $213.58, and decreasing SMV 3020.100 dispatch personal services by $1,366.73, and decreasing SMB 9015.800 police retirement by $3,544.91. And now for 2025, the police increasing SMB 3120.
Sorry, so she can hear you.
SMB 3120.100 police personnel services by $131,067, and decreasing SMB 3120.101 officer full-time 40 hours by $109,215. SMB 3120.100 police canine services by $21,852. And in 2025, buildings and grounds, we're increasing A 162462 repairs and materials by $25,000, decreasing A 1620.429 municipal building lease by $21,960, and increasing A 0599 appropriated fund balance by $3,040.
Wow, thank you, Nicole. Can I have a motion and second to approve modifications to the 2024-2025 budget as read and explained?
Make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Next is the resignation of E. Peterson. Can I have a motion and second to accept with regret the resignation of Eric Peterson from his position of full-time animal control officer effective February 12th, 2025?
I'll make the motion.
I will second. Any discussion?
Eric was a great asset to the animal shelter. I'm really sad that he's leaving, but I understand he got better opportunities that he couldn't let pass by, so we're gonna miss him, but.
Wish him all the luck.
Yes, Eric was a great person. I did a lot for him when he started his insurance and stuff. He was so excited for this job, so I do wish him all the best of luck.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Eric is moving forward with his full-time at a great company, and we wish him all the best. Next, there isn't any old business tonight, so we'll move on to new business. To authorize the supervisor to sign the ACO IMA with the town of Monroe. For the past few years, we've had an agreement with the town of Monroe for animal control service of lost dogs. This has been a great working relationship, and the intermunicipal agreement is on the table once again for 2025. Can I have a motion and a second to authorize myself to sign the intermunicipal agreement for animal control officer with the town of Monroe, January 1st, 2025 through December 31st of 2025, in the amount of $31,000?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Next is to authorize the supervisor to sign the MVP contract renewal. Can I have a motion and a second to authorize myself to sign the contract renewal for MVP? The town board voted on the 2025 MVP medical plan renewal contract covering December 1st, 2024 through November 30th of 2025.
Make the motion. I'll second.
Yeah. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Next is the request for the exemption status, various properties owned in the village of Curious Jewel. This has been a request that's continuous, that has come to us through legal counsel, that has come through from legal counsel representing the village of Curious Jewel. Nicole, can you please take us through the details of the resolution?
Yes. Over the last few years, a letter has been received from the village of Curious Jewel requesting a tax exemption on their pipeline and other properties they own within Woodbury. Since this pipeline and parcels do not service the residents of Woodbury, the town board has historically denied this request. The former attorney for the town has opined that the courts have ruled in its town rights to assess these properties per real property tax law section 406. The resolution, which is consistent with its prior determination, such that the vote would be to deny the exemption and reserve the issue for some potential future settlement. So the resolution is, whereas on or about January 29, 2025, the town of Woodbury received a written request from the village of Curious Jewel seeking to have certain properties owned by the village located within the town exempted from the taxation pursuant to real property tax law section 406. And whereas the village request seeks an exemption from taxation for the parcels identified by section block and lot 213-1-64.1, 213-1-49, 202-1-19, 247-4-16, 205-4-8, 999-7-1, and 999-7-2, based upon the assertion that the parcels are used for water supply purposes. And whereas in litigation commenced against the town by the village, the Orange County Supreme Court determined that the town was fully within its rights to deny the village's exception request for the same properties in prior years. Now therefore be resolved that pursuant to the authority vested in the town board by real property tax law section 406, the requested tax exemptions for the properties listed are denied.
Thank you, Nicole. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the resolution as read? I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Next is a motion to authorize signatures at MOU, library, and town of Woodbury. For over a year, this board has been working on with the library trustees to deliver a memorandum of understanding between the Woodbury Public Library and the town of Woodbury. So can I have a motion and a second to authorize myself and the library liaisons, Luongo and Capriglione, to sign the memorandum of understanding between the library trustees, library director, and the town board?
I'd like to go into executive session.
Okay.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll second.
Is it executive section or
Attorney-client.
Attorney-client.
It's attorney-client.
Alright.
Thank you.
Can you redo
for
the motion?
clarifying.
You did work in a law office.
Yes, I did.
Make a motion to go into attorney-client session.
I will second.
Do you tend to come with the intention of doing business when you come out, or well, there's still public comment, so
Yes.
with the intention of coming back out for doing business?
Yes.
Where do you guys do it in here?
We'll go upstairs.
First time.
Grab the phone.
We're taking you with us, Sandy.
Just a reminder, there's a recording still, you're still rolling, right? A reminder for everybody.
Somebody was going by that.
Mary?
Yes, did she go there?
Yes.
I thought I saw her, but I didn't wanna walk over, because I was like, she did that all the time, and I think I know somebody, and I'm like, hi, and I'm like.
Yeah, they're getting old. He's out of college, going into State Trooper Academy. And Joseph's 16, one more year to go. Send him away.
Oh, really? Where?
I don't know yet, he's going to 20, I'm like, oh. I'm like just looking at the cost, you know, so, yeah. Goes quick, real quick, how about you, kids?
Oh, my God. Jules is down in Florida. She has a baby, 2 years old. Oh, my gosh, the most beautiful. But of course, I'm the grandma, so I'm gonna say that, right? The most beautiful baby that ever was.
Yeah.
And little Pablo just finished school.
I imagine someone.
And he is
You
actually.
graduated last year,
I
right?
remember I walked in one time, and I look inside the kitchen.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much.
Another new one? Another one?
I don't know, did you see this?
I figured it didn't be because we're gonna have tables out, stuff like gun stuff, so I don't want.
But, what was I gonna say?
Yeah, we're gonna have,
Yeah, a little Pablo.
unfortunately,
Actually, he just graduated.
they're gonna make a nice meal for everybody, you know,
Although they allowed him.
first there's a DJ.
But he graduated,
It was like deep into the carpet.
December, so he's done it early, right? No, he graduated, he should have left school in May of last year. But then he had changed his major, so he had tacked on like another half a year. So he stayed on for the half a year, and then,
Whoever did the red
they,
probably cost you.
but he got a job before he graduated, thank God. Thank you, God.
I imagine
So he's working in the city, Johnson.
went over
He's doing
everything,
something
whatever's
with
in the
AI.
wall is probably.
Yeah, domestic, I don't know how to explain what he does. I don't know,
Yeah,
but all I
they'll
know is
probably
that
be
the other
gone
day he was
Friday
like,
night.
I did a hat trick. I did a hat trick, and I was like, what does that mean? And he said, I made 3 sales, because he said something with AI sale, I don't know. And he said, I'm the first person ever in the company to have done this hat trick, ever. So, yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, so I'm proud of him, I'm proud of him. So now he's just, you know, wanting to live in the city but can't afford it.
Right now, she works at JP Morgan, she travels all the way to.
Like one house.
Oh,
But
one part of
honestly,
the.
why do you look and go, hey, they're passing, they go, hey,
Oh,
5
it's-
people,
oh, okay.
whatever is max, and then they have the right to turn around, if it's rented or not owned, but dude, you
Yeah.
grown up,
So, but it's almost like for her, and then she's gonna make sure
whose parents aren't here.
put all.
Yeah, exactly.
Mom's gonna.
Traveling.
But at a certain point, like,
Make sure, yeah.
like, how do you? No, there's definitely nothing wrong.
Tell the kids I said hello.
And everyone has a last name, like,
I know, still in the same house. Still in the same house.
Yeah.
I'll be there forever, so.
After Joe died, I moved to Timber Ridge.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, house and got something small.
Didn't you guys go down Silverbone?
We went down
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
After I had Joey.
Yeah.
And, he was retired, I wasn't ready to be retired.
Yeah.
What you should do is, yeah, if your daughter, whatever, make her right to it.
I like it.
I'm just saying, I'm being facetious, I'm just trying to say, you know,
Okay, so we make a motion a second to close the attorney-client.
Make the motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then we're going to move on to.
You're gonna make a motion to reopen.
I make a motion to reopen the meeting.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And now I'm gonna make a motion to table the,
You don't need to make a motion.
we don't have,
You're just not making a motion to vote on it.
okay, so under the advice of council, we're going to table the, authorizing signatures of the MOU of the library, town of Woodbury. That's it. So, under new business, I have something I wanna bring up, I know you have something you wanna bring up, to go off what Jackie was saying, earlier. So, I thought you were at the last meeting when Bob brought it up. We are having the assessor's office done upstairs, and, our building, the lease was up on the assessor's office over in the building that we're in right now. And they wanted us to sign a 10-year lease, which I know that you, when you were on the board, and Frank, you guys signed a 10-year lease. And we've had nothing but the problems. We've had flooding, we've been infested with termites. I think since being supervisor, we've had 6 floods so far this year, last year. So we're trying to deal with what we can to get out of that. So they wanted us to re-sign a 10-year lease for our assessor's office, which we still have 7 years left on the lease. And I felt that it wasn't responsible to do. We tried doing month to month, we tried doing year to year. They refused to do that, so we started looking for other places. I came over here, I had heard things like Bob had said, it was structurally unsound, things like that. They said, I guess the old engineer had claimed that. We have a new engineer, I brought him over here along with our building inspector, and they looked over everything. We know we did a lot of work on the building. We have a report that our engineer gave to us, along with the building inspector, that the building is sound for us to have people here and upstairs. And so that's what the money was towards. We're gonna bring them back home, we're gonna be saving money on the lease, we will not be spending money on the lease on a building that's not ours anymore. And this is why we're doing our meetings here again. I'm hoping to start bringing us back into a building that we own that we're not paying rent on. So, we had the floors done, we ripped up the rugs, we had hardwood floors underneath, so we redid the hardwood. Beautiful tin ceiling, we had it painted. We're doing carbon monoxide detectors, smoke detectors. There's a whole new egress or whatever outside for the fire escape, which was done before as they were doing the building here. But pretty much we're getting everything sorted out here to bring them back home. So I'm very excited about that. It looks beautiful, and I'm happy. We're having the assessors stay until the end of February because right now it's their busy month, and then we're moving them over here. I hope that answers it. So I was really excited to tell everybody about it, and so we were gonna talk about it this meeting. All right, and then Brandon, I'm gonna throw it to you.
Yeah, so I wanted to have a little discussion on an idea that Kate and I were kicking around. We've had a lot of residents come up here and talk about, getting the word out about whether it's refuse or events, committees, dates and times, et cetera, businesses. We've all heard it, right? Some of you are sitting here. So we want to come up with a committee, a Welcome to Woodbury committee, and it would work together with the assessor's office,
Local businesses.
with the refuse department, and a couple other governmental departments to work in conjunction with local real estate offices, so that when you're buying a house in Woodbury, this information will be there, okay? So you'll get like the brochures that we got of all the businesses there, those will be there. Schedules of pickups, recycling, trash, bulk item information, committees, meeting times, village and town, and just sign up for the constant contact, all the town websites, et cetera. Full informational packet that will go out to all the real estate agents. And we have one here. We're hoping that, this is something that we can get going in the future, but it's definitely worth a discussion.
You can get discount coupons from local businesses to have it, so this way you can give the information out, knowing what's happening at our parks, be able to tell people about the events. I just had somebody recently that was talking to me, and they had incredible ideas, and I kept telling them, you need to join our parks committee, all these crazy ideas that were flowing out of her, and I said, we're actually looking for somebody on the parks committee, and you should be joining our parks committee. So I think it's important to give information out like that to new residents and allow them to know all the different committees we have and things in way that they can volunteer, so, yeah.
So I think that's something worth a discussion that we can do. We can figure out how we wanna incorporate it, who's gonna be on it, et cetera, but, I think it's worth a discussion in the future.
Perfect.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll move on to public comments of any type. Does anybody from the public have anything they would like to say? I'll start with the first row.
Brandon, I'm so happy that you're using, the welcoming committee that I had proposed a few, months ago, probably about a year ago, right? That, I wanted to work on with Joe Gianzero, and we never got it off the ground, so I'm happy that you're running with that idea now. Because I think, like, when I suggested it, it was a great idea, and the fact that you're running with it is, it's great. So thank you very much for running with that idea. I also wanna thank, you guys for putting off on the voting for the MOU, until you look in, for you guys to look into it a little further. I truly appreciate that. And I think most taxpayers are gonna appreciate that, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Martha.
Oh, and I think it is a good idea to, if everything is structurally sound, I think it is a great idea to come back, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next row.
I just, going back to that, with regards to the second floor, I know that one of the reasons why we moved everything out from the second floor was because it wasn't ADA compliant. Are you doing anything to address that issue?
So what we're gonna do is we have a bell, so if anybody's coming to visit the assessor's office, they can come down here, we'll have a desk set up for anybody that needs to do that. I've also spoke with the past supervisor, Ralph Russo. He told me that he was going through the county to have an elevator that was put in. The county was going to actually pay for the entire thing to be put in. And then I guess when Supervisor Slutz came in, it had changed and that didn't happen. So I'm going to look for going to the county once again to put an elevator in there. And my hope is on the third floor, it's beautiful up there. I would like to put the supervisor's office back there and move myself or whoever is the supervisor up there. And like I said, move all the things that are over there right now back into this building. Why pay almost like $1 million that we're throwing away as taxpayers on a building that we don't own? So I'm just hoping to get everything done and situated and go, like I said, go to the county and I hope
No,
they
that's
have.
great, no, that's great. I mean, you did allude to when we were here and our administration, when we did that, it was because we were told it was structurally unsound. We had the courts on the second floor at that time, and because the weight of the furniture was so heavy, it weighed down on the building. So the supervisor's office was actually on the first floor.
Right,
And the assessor's office was on the third floor? Second floor. And there were some issues because if you look at the building, we renovated the building during our administration. It addressed a lot of things, like we had birds on the third floor, that there was fecal matter, there was, remember Beckwith?
All windows.
All windows, so there were a lot of hazards at that time, which is why we did that, and it made more sense to bring the courts down here, so we moved ourselves so that we could have a unified town hall that all the offices could go to, because everybody was scattered. I think Joey was like in a corner at the bottom, basement, barely could get in there. So what we did was quality of life for everyone, including the staff and departments that were here. So that's the reason why we did that. If we can now structurally maintain the integrity of the building and to do something like that, it is a great idea. My concern is that the staircase is not safe. And again, you may have looked into things to make that safer. And the other concern, or at least the question is I saw that Joe had asked for $25,000. That means you're not hiring a company. Our buildings and grounds is gonna do all the construction?
what are you talking about?
I saw that in the invoice, Joe asked for $25,000 to do construction for the second floor?
Yeah, no, we've been doing everything through building grants, besides, the only thing that we had done was the floors. We had a flooring company come in and sand and finish the floors.
So how much was the flooring company?
How much was that, Joe? A little over 6,000.
6,200.
6,200, because normally don't we have to go out to bid after some of
We
them?
already got the 2 bids, yes.
You did get
We're fine.
okay, because I wasn't sure that that went out to bid. And then as far as the furniture, who would be doing the moving for the furniture from one to the other?
We hired a moving company.
Okay, so that, we just wanna make sure that the staff is safe. Okay, great, all right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Do you have anything? No. Okay. Next row? Row behind that? Second to last row? Last row.
One thing I forgot to mention with the MOU, the last page where you have the decision, just a suggestion, maybe go with the first 1 year to see how it works out, and then agree that one or the other can expand it. And I agree with what they said earlier, I forgot to mention that, to say that both of you have to say, yes, we wanna change it, but possibly do 1 year, and either or can come to the table to make changes, what's best for the residents of Woodbury. I forgot to mention that earlier, so, thank you. Oh, the elevator. When that elevator was being proposed, it was supposed to be outside this building, on the outside in the parking lot. I'm just saying, you can do the research on it. And it wasn't feasible or to do it because it would impact the structure of the building and also the basement with where the basement is. So please be very careful when you do that. Try and go back and get the old information because it was denied and not to go forward with it because it wasn't the best option for here. I mean, it's a great idea, but to put it any place within the footprint of this building, you know, I don't think it's gonna work. Rod, you were here back then.
Heard law since I was a little kid.
Yep, so you know what I'm talking about. I mean, down in the basement, I don't know if you've ever been down in this basement. I've worked in that basement. It's something to be seen and to put added onto here.
Yeah.
So, and you know, I'm grateful that you're saving money, and I saw in the budget mod, $21,000, almost $22,000 you're saving by not doing that rent. But you're not saving it. It's being transferred over to fix this place up. So there is really no savings this year that you're gonna have the extra money. It's being transferred from rent to refurbishing. So I just want people to realize you are in the future gonna be saving rent.
It's just for this year.
For this year, but this year it's a transfer from one line item to another.
But at least it's
year.
money that's being
Yeah.
spent on
And-
our building instead of
Yeah.
somebody else's
Oh,
building.
yeah, I hear you,
So.
but, you know, just 'cause some people might not, they don't know money, you know, they don't know how budgets or line items work, so, I do too, so. But that, you know, people don't know this, not everyone understands what the line items are and what they're transferring from one to the other, so thank you, and we'll have to figure out how to get more lights on in the back corner.
Anybody else in the back row? Joey?
All good.
Giovanni? Oh, Maria, do you need to come back up? Sorry.
No reports,
Okay.
we canceled our meeting tonight, to be safe.
We go down the line. Attorney Brady, do you?
Do I have anything to say?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Do you, wait, am I supposed, are you waiting me to say something?
No.
Oh, no, I'm listening.
All right.
I just wanted to announce the events that are coming up.
Oh, sorry.
Martha Parks Committee, chairman of the Parks Committee. We have 3 events coming up in February. One is on the 15th, which is a Mommy and Me cake pop bouquet making class. On the 21st, we have,
Adult.
our adult, Valentine's Day dance with DJ Vernick. And, on the 28th, we have our Puppy Love Valentine's Day movie, Lady and the Tramp. So hopefully people will sign up and come to our events. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, Martha. Okay, Councilmember Calori.
All right, as always, thank you to everyone that came out tonight. Recently, with all the tax exemption language been moving around, it made me wonder what other exemptions might be available to our residents. After some digging around and with the help of Clara Rivera from the supervisor's office and Julie Rose from the assessor's office, we were able to ascertain tax discounts for not only the volunteer firefighters and ambulance corps, but also for those with disabilities, those with limited incomes, our seniors, and finally our veterans. I requested and worked together with these two amazing ladies to get a link added to the town's homepage for ease of access to this information. Those that would like to research their eligibility simply need to visit www.townofwoodbury.com, and they will find the link to all the information right on the homepage. We, your town board, encourage people to check out the link and hope it can be helpful to you. A big thank you to Clara and Julie for all their help, and good night.
Thank you. Councilmember Beckley.
So I don't really have too much to say. I've been on the board a little while now. I know these people here put a great deal of effort and they really do care about the community. I know the community in general has a lot of ideas. If you guys have anything you'd like to talk to us about, or any ideas you wanna see get thrown, on this direction, or, we're very limited on the money we have in town here to do stuff, so the decisions this board's making on trying to do the best for the town is to save money with the whole building situation. We can't just go buy the building and, nothing happens instantly. You gotta do some stuff temporary for a few years to see what happens down the road. And we're trying to do our best, and they're trying to do their best with everything. If anybody has any insight on stuff for us they can help us out with, we're all ears. We have emails, you can contact town hall, get a hold of us. We're only in these seats a few months, a few years, I don't know. But anything you guys have positive to help us get better as a community, we would definitely like to hear from you, and you can help us do better also. And just work together, that's it. We have a lot of snow coming, so stay warm.
Seriously. Thank you, Beckley. Next, Councilmember Corleone. Would you have anything you want to say?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right, Deputy Supervisor Longo.
Okay, I just wanna thank everyone for coming out tonight, and as always, we appreciate your input. For February, it's Pet Dental Health Month and Dog Training Education Month. So please remember to monitor your pet's teeth, don't forget to brush them, because they need their teeth brushed just like we do. And as for your dogs, work on basic obedience, socialization, and positive reinforcement. Also on February 22nd, from 12 to 1 at the Senior Center, the Salvation Army, once again, will give out supplies for those in need. They've been coming monthly, except I think they didn't come in December because they did something up in Middletown for the holidays. Also, don't forget Valentine's Day on February 14th, and, chocolate and flowers go a long way. Not just the ladies, even the guys. And yes, stay warm and be safe. That's it.
Thank you. Town Clerk Young. Sorry, I keep knocking over my chair. All right, so I just wanna wish Councilwoman Corleone speedy recovery. Sandy, I hope everything goes well. I do wanna thank everybody from our building and grounds to our water department to our highway department. I know these guys up here have not slept very well because they've been up all night, plowing, and then here they are for the meeting tonight. So I wanna thank everybody because they keep us safe, our streets safe. Saturday, we're looking at a big storm coming in, so everybody stay safe on Saturday, and then next week we have a storm coming in, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So just, make sure you got your toilet paper and bread. And, just like Teresa said, you know, Valentine's Day is coming, so, you know, just be kind to your neighbors and, you know, spread the love that you can. We can only start at home. And, February is also Black History Month, so, I know my kids are coming home with different things all the time, and it's really wonderful to see that, you know, we're still teaching our kids about everything and, you know, what people have gone through. And with that, can I have a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting?
Make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Everybody get home safe.